excited to be here. Okay, do I need to share my screen? I do, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I've got it. Good to have everybody here. My name is Nathan Osmond, and I come from the beautiful state of Utah. You guys ever heard of that place? Wonderful place. I'm going to share my screen here. And something about myself is that I was raised in an entertainment family. Usually one of the first things that I'm ever asked with my last name is any relation to Donnie and Marie? Who remembers that family? You guys remember them? Well, I was raised on the set of a television show called The Donnie and Marie Show. My dad was the producer. In fact, I don't know if you see on the screen, he's the one on the far left. That's Alan Osmond. He's the one that started Stadium of Fire and just loves to blow stuff up. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most firecrackers lit up at one time, 1,050,000 firecrackers in 6 seconds. So that's my dad. He was even a cartoon character. You see that? But I grew up kind of watching those guys perform, and my brothers and I thought it'd be fun to just start our own boy band. So we did. We have 3 songs in the top 40 in the UK. I used to travel with New Kids on the Block, Mother Me Bad, Salt and Pepper, Naughty by Nature, Extreme, and just had a lot of fun. But my wife thought this beard looked pretty good on me and said, "You'd be a good country singer." So I went solo, and I have 4 number 1s in country music, which is kind of crazy, right? So I love doing what I love doing, but the thing is that there's a little thing that came to town in 2020 called COVID, and it killed everything. Right? It just shut down our industry. Everybody went home. Interest rates froze. I was actually on top of that. I was also a speaker. I do podcasts. I love podcasts. If you guys want to listen to my podcast, please do. But the thing is, I just talked about real estate investing on the last episode. It has Steve Perry on the show, guys. It's a fun thing. But I had to do something. I did 277 live events in 201 cities, training investors all over this country how to succeed in real estate investing, working with guys like Shark Tank people, right? Mr. Wonderful to Josh Altman from $1 Million Listing. And it was a lot of fun. But people say, well, how'd you get into the mortgage business? Well, sometimes life throws you curveballs like that, you know? And I was trying to figure out where I needed to go with my life. What am I going to do with my real estate education and knowledge? And I said, we decided we were going to do the cash out refis, right? Because my wife, she was actually working for Security Home Mortgage as a marketer. And so we decided to go and do a cash out refi. And as I'm sitting at the settlement table, my wife looks over at me and she looks at our lender and she goes, "You could do that." And I thought, yeah, but I hate that I got to take a test to get a job. Who's with me on that? I just see the smile. Yes, because I was like, that's so stupid. I'd have to take a test. And I've heard it's a hard test, right? Only 51% of people pass that test, the first try, the NMLSA test. Now, come on over this way, guys. And if you don't pass it the second try, you got to take it the third try. And if you don't pass it the third try, you wait 6 months. I've done my research. So I decided, okay, fine. I will take this test. And if I don't pass it the first try, I want options to go do something else, because all I had in mind, guys, when it came to doing mortgages was glasses and calculators and spreadsheets and no hair. So I had this stigma in my mind, and that's not who I wanted to be. But I passed the test the first try, and I was like, okay, now I've got to go do this. So I jumped into the game. And all I did was I took what I knew from my production companies, from promoting myself as a country artist. I was my own publicist, guys. So I started marketing using my skill sets, and I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you the secrets of how to market your real estate business on a shoestring budget, how to really build a database, and how to maximize that. But the thing is that as I started to do what I knew, my whiteboard started to fill up with names. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Right? I'm having fun making commercials and advertising and social media and all the things that I was good with before I became a loan officer. And it started to work to the point that I got a knock on my door about a month and a half into this. And James Roberts, who you met last time I was here, he said, "Can we talk?" And he came into my office, closed the door behind him and sat down. The first thing he said to me was something that I've heard throughout my life: "You're not normal." And I said, "Well, thank you for the compliment. I could have told you that. I never wanted to be normal. Normal doesn't pay very well, and we're going to see that here in advertising and marketing and building databases. If you're willing to do today the things that others want, eventually you can have tomorrow the things that others can't. That's called financial freedom. So we want to teach you guys, if you really want to succeed in this business, you have to be willing to change with the times. Would you agree with that statement, you guys? Because have times changed since like 2000? Oh, heck yeah. I got married in 2002. Boy, life has changed. That was shortly after 9/11. Has the world changed since 9/11? Big time. What about like Sears or CompUSA or Blockbuster? Can you list any other companies that didn't conform, that didn't change with the times? And because they didn't catch up, they didn't stay up to par with what needs to happen in today's business. If you don't like social media, I'm sorry, it's going to be harder to do this business. We just have to learn how to do it right and how to stand out. I'm going to show you guys today how to have outstanding marketing, how to have outstanding commercials, how to create what you need help doing. And by the way, if you don't know how to do it, call me. I'm here to help you guys, but I'm so honored to be here. Most important, I'm just a dad from Utah, okay? I live in American Fork, just down the street, and we've lived in the same house for the last almost 18 years. But we've been real estate investors for many, many years, and I've learned that if you get good at connecting, engaging with people, you can do really well, especially in real estate. My grandfather, George, who I'm named after, started a brokerage called Osmond Real Estate back in 1979 here in Utah. And he was so thrilled to see that I was getting into real estate. He was Mr. Gregarious, Mr. People. And we're going to talk about social media. Social media. What's the most important word out of those two?
Social.
Social. Why, Lisa?
Because you need people to be in real estate.
You need people to be in real estate, right? I love that. I love that. You do need, this is a people business. Oftentimes we think of sticks and bricks and floors and doors and home dipstick, right? But it's much more than that. There is a human story behind every door, and you guys are on the front line. Now, why should somebody work with you? We're going to talk about that. I was going to have my business partner here today. He had to go to the dentist. The Osmonds know about teeth. Yeah, it's important. He went to the dentist, but this is Brandon. I just want you to know that when you work with me, you work with this guy as well. I've assembled a team because one thing that James asked me in that meeting, he says, Nathan, how can I make sure, first of all, will you teach my team how to market? So I teach my whole team at the Elite Mortgage Group. This is, by the way, we're switching our name from the Elite Team to Elite Mortgage Group. Just want to let you guys know that's a new change. But the thing is, he said, after teaching my team, he said, how can I make sure those people on your whiteboard don't fall through the cracks? I got this guy on my team. Combined, we have over 15 years experience in the lending world, and he's just one of the nicest humans you're going to meet. But this is Brandon. I just wanted you to meet my business partner. Now, I want to tell you a quick story here. Some people in this business are very quiet. Some people in this business are not outgoing. They don't want to be in front of a room. They don't want to be teaching a lot, but they know they've got to connect with people. The reason I tell this story, and I told this over at UCAR, that's me right here, by the way, as a little kid on a show called Good Morning America. I was 9 years old, and we went on this show to promote a tour, and Joan London sitting there on the far left, she was the host of that show. Out of all those faces there, she picked me out. And she says to me on national television, so Nathan, do you enjoy this entertainment business? Guys, I froze. On national TV as a 9-year-old, you know, 2 words came out of my mouth. Yes, ma'am. And that's all. My father said I wasn't going to say another word, so he jumped in, saved the interview, and then we wrapped it up. On the way out of that studio, I'll always remember this day. Whew. My dad, my hero, puts his arm around me, this little 9-year-old kid, and he says to me, Nathan, it's a talk show. Talk. People want to hear what you have to say. And guys, I was humiliated on one side. I felt like I let my family down on national TV. I was embarrassed. But my dad believed in me. And sometimes you just need someone to believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, sometimes you got to believe in somebody else's belief in you until your own belief kicks in. If Jen didn't believe in you, if Steve and these guys didn't believe in you, guys, you want to be on the team. You're on one of the best teams in Utah. I tell you, I'm so honored to be here with such talent. But what I want to do is make sure that this is our best year yet, okay? So the things I'm going to share with you today, just know that even though I didn't know how to speak, my dad looked at me with the eyes of Gertie said, treat a man the way that he is, and he only becomes worse, but treat a man the way that he could be, and then he becomes what he should be. So I like working with top producers, and if you're not one, my goal today is to turn you into one with some of the skills that we're gonna teach you. I got a good quote for you. Ever heard this? Have you ever heard a crackhead say, I have no money? I'm not gonna smoke today? No, they always find a way. Are you gonna let a crackhead out hustle you today? Isn't that a great quote? I just think that's hilarious. So guys, we're gonna talk about success and how you can hustle and get in the game. You've got to 10x what you're doing right now because we're out of that refi boom. Things have changed for our industry as well as yours. There's been a shift in the market, and we're gonna talk about that. But the key to success is this formula right here. Frequency times reach times credibility. Okay, those three things are equally important. I see my friend Jen here at Presidio. She is constantly out there. Boy, does that girl post. Boy, does she get involved, and she gets back to me and she writes to me and my messages and comments on my posts. Where does she find the time to do all that? Isn't that amazing? It's because she is all in. You got to be all in this business, but you got to do it frequently. You got to have a reach. We're going to talk about that reach as well as having credibility. I don't know if you girls, but mostly girls, there's some guys I'm sure that were there. How many of you got to hear Jen speak at the Women's Real Estate Council? You guys hear that? I was there. It was so fun to be there, support her. And the thing is, she talked about trust. Why is trust so important in this business? I'm going to ask somebody online who would like to answer that. So the first one to chime in. Why is it important that people trust you? I'm really good at waiting for answers. So is there anyone that wants to unmute your microphone and chime in? Why do people need to trust you in this business?
Nathan, it's Donna Lee. Hello. Well, because you're dealing with one of the biggest purchases or sales that they'll ever have, and it's a big deal to them. So trust, they need to know who you are and that they can count on you.
Jen mentioned in her speech that there's a major trust issue that people are having in this industry. Because what do people typically think of when they think of a realtor in the year 2023? Is there a stigma? What comes to people's minds when they hear the word realtor?
Pushy.
They're only in it for the commission.
In it for the commission. I've heard this term over and over again, used car salesman. You ever heard that? Doesn't that like hurt your feelings a little bit when people refer to people in our industry as used car salespeople? That's awful. But there is a stigma, and we're going to show people how to get past that. And so I want to address real quickly before we move on, what is the big elephant in the room? What are we as real estate professionals facing right now that's making our jobs a little bit more difficult? What is it?
Interest rates.
We can blame interest rates. Yeah, there's a lot of that talk. You know that my dad actually texted the whole family and he says, don't anybody buy a house, Glenn Beck said. I texted him back and I said, Father, you remember I'm a mortgage loan officer, right? Anyways, we had a good laugh, but it's so true. We're up against CNN, Fox News, KSL, you name it. Mainstream media is making it very difficult for us with messaging, with shock and awe, doom and gloom, and right? And people think if we're just trying, oh, this is a great time to buy, that we're just in it for what? Yeah, we're not being truthful. Is it true that there are people in Utah that ought not buy a house this year?
Definitely.
Who think so? Would you build trust telling people, let's talk, because you may not be a good candidate for a home purchase this year. I need to get a little bit more information about your story, what your goals are, because knowing that will help me to be able to be a good consultant. I worked with a guy named Brian Tracy. Now he taught me that. He says, people hate to be sold, but boy, do they love to buy. That's interesting. I said, what do you mean by that? You ever go into a store and people go, hey, can I help you? Can I do this? Right? And they come out pushy. What is that? Yeah, Lisa just went like this, right? Because it's just, ew. And in fact, Best Buy just put out a survey and I answered it. Do you want to be left alone or do you want people to treat you like this? People love consultants. You know, when you are over there, trying on some nice jeans, maybe at the buckle or something, and they say, let me see those. Let me take a look at that. Has anybody ever been a consultant to you in a store? But they weren't pushy. They were just like, you know what? I don't know if that shirt goes with that. You know, that builds trust because some people just need somebody to really see them from the outside perspective. When people come up to me and say, hey, I want to do a HELOC, you know what I tell them? Perfect. Let me get on the phone with my contact over at UCCU or MACU because their rates are better than what I can provide for you on a HELOC. Now, if you want to do a cash out refi, I'm your guy. What does that do when it comes to trust?
You're not
Did I just win them over by being honest? Absolutely, guys. Honesty is the best policy. Always has been. And if you're just in it for the quick commission, they can see through that. People, especially the younger generation, they sniff through hype. They get it. They see it. It's disgusting to them and it's a repellent. So we got to make sure we're speaking people's languages. There's a lot of cool different ways we could do that, but let's start talking about our database. Can everybody show me your database on camera? Can you do that? You're probably going, what does he mean by that? I'm going to show you what I mean by that. You walk around with a database every single day, right, Steve?
Yeah.
This is a database. When's the last time you opened up your contacts and went like this? For reals. The thing is that we are carrying that's one of the databases and realize the power that's at our fingertips right here. I encourage everybody here today to open your phones tonight, and I want you to go through your database, and I want you to start writing down on a separate piece of paper certain names that you haven't even thought about in years. You might have names in there you don't even recognize anymore. It's so important as you enter new names into your phone that you're putting notes in there. How do I know this person? Or somebody gives you a card, you're going to lose that card. Take a picture of it and put it on as their picture. I'm really good with faces. I struggle with names. So here's the thing. Why a database? This came from Gary Keller. You probably heard of him. He's the millionaire real estate agent. He says your database is your business. Building up the number of names in it and a relationship with those names is really at the very core of what building a real estate business is all about. Think of it this way. The size of your real estate sales business will be in direct proportion to the size and quality of your database. Now, he put two important words in there, size and quality. Why is quality an important thing, Steve?
The quality of your database?
Yeah.
If you're gonna use it to make money.
Absolutely. What if I'm trying to market to somebody that just bought a house last month? What are my chances of actually closing that? Zero, right, Lisa? So we need to have the right tools. I just taught a class last week called How to Farm Using Free Online Tools. We got a lot of cool classes we want to teach you guys, but here's the point. You got to make sure that the people that you're marketing to, there's something called a funnel, right? You got the people at the tip top, the white side of the funnel. Those are the people that are going to take you a while to sell, okay? But you need to be able to break it down and put them into categories where they're down towards the end of the funnel, ready to buy. The people that are reaching out to your ads, the people that are responding to your posts, the people that are coming to open houses, those people are ready to buy. Now you got to be able to recognize the signs, but a database is a list of people who know you, like you, and there's that word again, Jen, trust you. That's what her whole speech was about, trust. And that has to be earned. Trust is earned. They have to know you, they have to like you. How do you make people like you?
They don't like me.
They don't like you. You know what? And if you don't like people, they've got drugs at Walmart that will calm you right down. But let me say this. If you don't like people, you're probably in the wrong business, but you can't make people like you. All you can do is make yourself more likable. I read books on this throughout my life because I always liked that one book. Steve, you probably read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Why is that so important to know how to win friends and
I
influence
don't read
people?
the book, so I.
You don't agree with the book? Steve, you've got me
You
fooled.
should see me driving.
You know what brought Steve and myself together? Bowling.
Yeah.
We hit it off at a bowling alley, you know, and we were some of the few that showed up to that event, but I was like, that's where we met. And we started talking about health. We started talking about tacos. We started talking about real life stuff, our kids. You know what? I think it's so important that you remember why you got into this business. Oftentimes, especially we're seeing that, you know that 30% of the lenders from last year are out. 30% of the people that you were doing loans with last year have left the industry.
Congratulations.
You know what that does for me? Woo, raise the roof, let's do some business, because you gotta have staying power. But here's the point, there's a guy that wrote a book called Smart Women Finish Rich. He wrote the Automatic Millionaires. His name is David Bach. He did the Oprah Debt Diet. When I was in a little town called New York City, we were doing an event at the Copacabana. I was the MC and I was introducing him. I'd seen him on Oprah and I was really excited to introduce this guy. And he comes up to me and he was probably just practicing his speech with me. And he goes, Nathan Osmond, do you want to be rich? What do you guys think I told him? Yeah, heck yeah. I was Utah. Heck yeah. And he laughed and he says, gotcha. That's a trick question. Everybody says they want to be rich. Here's the real question. Why? And then we started talking about life. We started talking about things that mattered, our wives, our kids. And as you start to make the person that you want to connect with the focal point of the conversation, that's been my goal this year. Last year, it was all about Nathan Osmond and my commercials and me. And guess what? That's been my life because I was raised in show business. I was raised promoting. I was raised in a world where you've got 3 minutes on television to get this in, this in, this in. Steve, when I first went to lunch with you, all I did was pitch. And he's agreeing with that.
All I did was listen.
And all he did was listen, because you must have read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Here's the point. There's a great book that you should all add to your library called One Word That Will Change Your Life. And this will help you as you start to build your database, because it encourages the reader to look inward, outward, and upward when picking a one-word theme for the year. My word last year was relationships, okay? Because that's what we're in. We're in a relationship-based business. But do you know what I've changed my word to this year now? I reread the book on January 1st. And here's what my word is: nurture. You've got to nurture good relationships. And I think that's part of building a database. Because when people like you, know you, and trust you, they're willing to give you what's called a referral. Why are referrals more powerful than just advertising? Who online can answer that question? Who'd like to chime in about referrals? Why are they so much more powerful? If you serve the mission, you know that's true.
They
Effective.
already like you based on someone else's, what they talked about.
Have you ever? Yeah, I like that. Thank you for that.
And they are calling you. You're not having to call them.
A warm lead. Aren't those beautiful?
Yeah.
You know that we close one of every 2.54 referral leads that are sent to us. Why? Because if it's just somebody that's coming off of Instagram, it's probably a lot higher, a lot less than that. You know what I'm saying? The number. So the key is if somebody's ever set you up on a blind date, what does that say about you? That person likes me, knows me, and trusts me, right? I just have this little meme I posted today. Real estate is a lot like the dating scene. The longer you're on the market, the more people wonder what's wrong with you, right? It's a great post. But the thing is that, yes, you want people to be able to refer to you and asking for referrals. That's something I learned when I served my mission in Chile. I had to ask people for what it is that I wanted. Do you know anybody? And that's the point. Sometimes when you're in sales, people hate to be sold. And so the key, a little secret to sales, is kind of going around that person that you want to help be an advocate for you. When you say, do you happen to know anybody that might be looking to buy a home? That person you might know might be looking to buy a home. But if you could kind of say, hey, do you happen to know, or are you aware of, or ask questions that don't directly target the person. People love to help. There's a great book that you should read. It is called The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Great book. Because there's different types of people out there, but one group of people he talks about are informers. Like when I started asking people like Steve, like, where do you like to eat? Man, he knew right then about this place called Jurassic Street Tacos. He knew the whole menu, and I said, let's go there. Right? Because that's the thing, is people want to give information out, and they will do it if they know you, like you, and trust you. So that's what we need to build up. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on how to build the database, because there are different things on the screen. By the way, gonna send everybody in here a copy of these slides, if that's okay with you guys. So you have all this. I hope you're taking notes, but I'm gonna make sure you all have this. The top three that I have listed here on the television, those are the top three according to popularity for realtors. Okay, Excel, most of you probably use Excel. Lion Desk is number one according to popularity with realtors. Very good. And then the second in line would be Realty Juggler. Now, you can look at some of these other ones, Salesforce, Zoho, Active Campaign, and I put a whole number of different types out there, but those top three are probably ones I'd probably start with. The New York Times did an article, and they said that the average American knows about 600 people. Did you think you knew 600 people? If I laid a piece of paper down in front of you right now, and I said, you write 600 names of people you know, or I'm going to take the super soaker blaster and I'm going to soak you with this. Okay? Could you write 600 names down? If you looked in your phone, you would probably have more than 600 names. Now, the article goes on saying this though. Most Americans know just about 10 to 25 people well enough to say that they trust you, like Jen talked about. We have to get down to trust. And being forthcoming and consulting with people and saying, you know what? Maybe it's not time for you to buy a house. It's called in sales the takeaway. There's something to be said about taking that away, but you know what it also does? If that person sees that you're not just in the business to sell them, but that you want to be more of a consultant, that's going to help build trust. I told them, see, like you came to me for a HELOC. What did I tell you?
It wasn't a good product for me.
It wasn't. For me, I couldn't get you the best rate on that. Did I send you to someone else? Did I send you my UCCU contact?
Oh, yeah.
See, even with Steve here, and I think that was probably a test. When you say you're going to do something, integrity is everything in this business and any other business. But I'm going to send you guys a little homework assignment as part of the follow-up on this, so I let you know that your hour has been banked. I'm going to send you a copy of what's called the memory jogger. And as you look at this list, how many bus drivers do you know? 0. I know at least one. She drives a school bus, right? What about delivery people? What about fishing buddies or jewelers or mailmen or police officers? Do you know any people in these fields? Any tailors, any truck drivers? This thing right here will start to like open up your brain to the people that maybe you haven't even thought of for a while. Your SOI, your sphere of influence. This is a great exercise. So I'm going to send that to you. But I got a question for everybody here online and in person. Why would somebody work with you versus the #1 agent in your city? And maybe you are the #1 agent, but why would somebody work with you? I want to hear an answer from somebody online. Who's brave enough to talk about why somebody should work with you versus someone else?
That's an easy one.
It should be easy. I'm talking about an elevator pitch here. When somebody works, I'm going to just start calling on people. Let's see. Steve, why don't you pick somebody off the list?
I can't see.
Can you see their names there?
No.
I can't see the names.
I can make it bigger for you now.
Okay. Oh, will you?
I'd not do that.
Oh, perfect. It's going to make this bigger for me. This is going to be great.
Where's it?
For somebody to just chime in, here, you can go like this. There we go. You want to make that bigger?
Yeah, just make it bigger. Yeah, there you go. We'll drag.
Yeah, let's start with Greg. Greg, you got that beard, brother. Why should somebody work with you? What makes you different?
Well, there's two pieces of that. Why they do work with me and why they should work with me, right? So people like are close to me, they trust me already. Everything you've talked about already, they know they're my friend, they're my family, they're close to me. They do use me that way. They should use me because I'm smart, I get back to them quickly, I'm attentive to their needs, I understand the industry. All of those sorts of reasons are really important. I became a realtor because I was super disappointed in my experience as a consumer with my former realtor supporting me.
Yeah.
I've got a story to tell that's like that. I think that most buyers would identify with.
I love that. That makes you relatable. I like that you talked to you're honest, you're available. That's one thing I just asked the other night to a bunch of realtors. I said, what's your biggest frustration with your lender? Without a beat, man, they're like, I can't get him on the phone and getting the follow-up, getting back to me. Who's with me on that when it comes to lenders? I see hands in the room going up, right? So those are things that we in our industry have to combat if we want to be outstanding. You have to understand what's your unique value proposition. What does Greg bring to this business that nobody else does, right? And you've got to be good at storytelling. What makes you different? And be okay to be different. You know, there's a guy named Tony who's in this business, and he was raised dancing with his family. They have this little Mexican dance troupe. I worked with him at the Hope of America. Now he's killing it as a broker. But here's the point. He was told when he got into this business, put the Mexican clothing away in the closet. That's not professional. Was that good advice?
No,
Why?
because that's his thing. That's
His
his
identity.
passion.
It's his identity, it's his passion, has nothing to do with real estate. It's a good thing. You know, there's 88 keys on a piano, and if all I do is hit middle C, ding, 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 it's gonna get really old, really boring, really fast. He had me on his podcast, he asked me about embracing not only the mortgage world, but being okay being a country singer. I showed you what my life's been like up to this point. I got passions, I got hobbies, I got pet peeves. I'm gonna show you what I do with those every single day online and why that's working. You have to be able to be different. That's the thing, there's a lot of TikTok types of things, and point to little things on the trends. We do the trends, but you gotta ask yourself, do you know what your market stats are too? Because the worst thing is a new agent. I don't think we got any new agents in here. But if you're a new agent, we all were at one time, what was your least favorite question to be asked? Feel free to turn your mics on and answer. I want a conversation going here. What is it?
How long have you been?
How long have you been in this business? How many houses have you sold? Don't you hate that? There's something that you can do right now, and that is leverage Presidio. Leverage what this incredible company does. Steve, how long have you guys been in business?
Presidio?
Yeah.
12 years.
12 years you guys have been in business. We have been, take I out of the conversation. We've been in business for over 12 years now. What are some other stats about Presidio that I should know about?
We have the best agents.
Most prestigious? I went to visit with my friend Kyle McGee, who made all your trophies at your event. You know, Kyle Muir, who was there, and Melody Klein, and all these great people, Paige Steckley. I know your team. You guys are fantastic, not only recognizing great talent, but you're some of the top producers out there, and you reward great talent. I love that you guys recognize the people that are out there crushing it, and I see names here on the wall. The people walk in, start learning about Presidio's history, what makes you different, and talk about we. See, our company, we've been in business for over 23 years. We've got 4 in-house underwriters. We never outsource anybody's loans. We can do 10 business day closings or less. I tell you that because it's exciting, but that's what I started saying from day one. Leverage your stats. Spend 30 minutes, by the way, learning the market stats. Where do we go to learn market stats? Go ahead and chime in. Where do you guys go to learn about, say, Eagle Mountain?
MLS.
MLS is a great place to go. Where else can we go?
UAR.
UAR, very good. Any other tools? Lender, absolutely. What if I'm on the phone with somebody and they want to know about Harriman, but I don't know the stats about Harriman because maybe I was focused on Bountiful that day. What can I do really quickly? Let me give you a little secret. I was going around to 277 events in 201 cities like Scranton, Pennsylvania. I don't know much about Scranton. And here I'm supposed to teach real estate investors about Scranton. There's so much tools online for free. Here's a site that I really like. You can write this down. It's called bestplaces.net. Guys, this is a fantastic tool that I would go into just even 30 minutes before we open the doors. I could go in and find out what the median income price, median house prices were in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I could tell them about how many Mormons versus Catholics versus Protestants live there. Tell about their school districts. I could talk about poverty. I could talk about the taxes there. I could talk about crime rates. This thing is awesome. And this is only one of many websites I can send to you. Bestschools.org. There's a lot of great things I can look at to know about that. I can tell you all sorts of stats within a second. And if I'm on the phone and I can look this up, all I got to do is drop 84003 or American Fork, and I got all the things I need to know. And when it goes on real estate, it goes to Zillow. So watch out there. But this is a great resource for you as a realtor or as an agent to be able to really inform people about what's going on right now in this business. But do your homework. Really get in there, because that builds what we call trust. Because if I ask Steve, tell me about Provo, and he can't tell me, maybe I should go find somebody from Provo to sell me the house. I need somebody that knows the market. That's why you do your post. And when you post the top 5 favorite family things to do in Utah County, that is building trust. They have to know, like you said, I think it was Gina, that this is the biggest purchase of their life. And we've got to be able to do that. Leverage your brokerage team, staffs. We talked about that. Actively using social media. Now we're going to get into some fun stuff. I really like social media. When I went out to Nashville, Steve, I went and worked with this group called Lone Star. I went out there, they produced me. And when I was in the studio, Dean Sams, who's the founding member of that group, he's the keyboard player, asked me a question, just, do you have a MySpace page? Now that shows you how far back it was. I said, isn't that thing for like teenagers? Isn't that the Taylor Swift thing? Is get you a MySpace page. And I've been a social media junkie ever since, because it helped me promote my business. But being able to discuss the modern strategy is a very important thing. We want to talk about your elevator pitch. Why do they call it an elevator pitch?
Did you say it while you're in the elevator?
You say while you're in the elevator, 59 seconds on average is what they call an elevator pitch. Because if I were trying to get a job, say at New Skin, and I happen to be walking around their building on the top floor, and I just get in the elevator with Blake Roney steps in the elevator, I've got 59 seconds to be able to sell Blake Roney on why he should hire me to go work for him. Okay, that's why they call it an elevator pitch. So I'm going to show you this. A gentleman who's done extremely well in real estate, an agent, he never tells people that he's a realtor. There's that stigma, right? Used car salesman, we all listed those little things that people think right now, realtors. Here's what he says when people ask him, what do you do for a living? I do creative work in the real estate space. That's his one first answer. Is that a little vague? Intentionally? Let me ask you, Lisa, Edmund, Lisa, what do you do for a living?
I help investors invest and make money.
She helps investors invest and make money. How do you do that? See, make them dig a little bit deeper. Don't just say, I'm a realtor, because then they sum you up, they put you in your little box, they put it on the shelf. They're not interested in being sold by you. So what do you do for a living? I want you today to work on this exercise to create a 59-second elevator pitch. I do creative space I do creative work in the real estate space. Oh, really? Tell me more. What does that mean? Well, this gentleman, this is his response. I help people get their homes sold for more money in less time using creative and innovative social media strategies in order to get more exposure. Would you want to work with a guy like that? He was, by the way, a month into his license when he started doing this. He'd go to parties, he'd just mingle, he'd just visit with people, and became a top producer in his first year with this response right here. This is powerful stuff, guys. You have to have your pitch mastered and memorized. And if you got to practice in the mirror doing this, guys, if you're not good at, I don't know what to say, good. Wordsmith it. Take the time now so that when those opportunities arrive, you can tell people exactly what you do. What is your elevator pitch? I usually have people work on this, but we're gonna skip that 5-minute exercise. I'm gonna just show you a tool that I use. This is a really cool thing. I just emceed for the Utah Valley Executive Summit that they have for the chamber. And the guy that created this tool came up to me. And what it is, it's a tool that I use. You know, guys, I'm not here to pitch you on tools, but I'll show you what I use, because this is to teach you guys what's working out there. This allows you to be really shareable. It's a pitch card. So people can pitch me. I got introduced to some really powerhouse people in real estate my first day using it. Really cool. The nice part is that you can create a video that goes as part of your pitch card. And what it does is it allows you to sell yourself. Your 59 seconds, hence the name Pitch 59. You got 59 seconds to sell somebody. This is a really cool way to present you and Presidio and why people should care. Why should they work with you? work on that pitch. If you want to use this, I asked the guy that created this thing, I told him I'm gonna be teaching Presidio here soon and other realtors how to market themselves. How can I hook them up with a discount? He gave you guys a 20% off discount if you want to use it. I'm going to show you why creating partnerships with people in this business is absolutely huge. We're going to talk about social media training right now for a second here. Social media, I just recorded this video. Can you guys hear this audio? Social media. Yes or no? Online resume. Can you hear that?
It's really quiet.
Here are my top. Okay, here's 3 tips for social media right here. Social media. Tip number 1, quality versus quantity. Don't just post every day to be present. Set aside intentional. Don't just post every day just to be present. Take time to brainstorm, okay? I'm just kind of like interpreting this as the audio saw. The second tip is this. Number 2, engage with your audience. Why is that important? We're gonna talk about that in a sec. Reply to comments. Questions. Feedback along the way. Don't be afraid to comment and engage on. Don't be afraid to comment and engage on other people's posts as well. Showcase your personality however you see fit. Be yourself. Your values and your personal life. So those are the 3 tips right there. I created that video just the other day. By the way, how many, right, by show of hands, I want to see who in this room has ever like had just a day where your brain was just not working. You had zero creativity. Can I see those hands? Anybody feel that way sometimes? Did you know that I got that script from somebody else's post? Now I switched the first 2 lines up so it wasn't exactly. But here's the point. Is it okay to borrow people's ideas? You know, it was Lily Tomlin who said this. The secret to originality is concealing your source. See, that's the thing, we all borrow stuff from people. So if you're ever having a hard day, one thing that I like to do, like that video right there, I found somebody that I follow online that I love what they put out. It was good content, so what I did is I went and borrowed it. I typed down word for word what that girl said. So what I did is I sat down on my little table here, filmed that video, and here's the point. If you'll break up your videos, and TikTok does this really well, they found that if your video isn't just one big long message, but broken up into just little 1 or 2 seconds, guys, I just took 1 line at a time, I memorized it, filmed it, and then I pieced it together. That will actually maintain their attention span. Because our attention span nowadays is about this. But that's a way to do that. Those are 3 tips for social media. Now I put Facebook up here intentionally first. Why did I pick Facebook first? What is the demographic of Facebook? There's a lot of them. But is it an older or a younger generation? It's older. It didn't used to be that way, but you know that they're older if they put the word "the" in front of Facebook. The Facebook, yeah, you've seen that. But I love this. There's a lot of things you can do on Facebook. I want to point out something very interesting about my Facebook page. What do you notice underneath my logo? What did I put there? 5 stars. Who gave me those 5 stars?
You did.
I did. And by the way, today I knight every one of you. You too, Tana. Yeah, I invite every one of you guys a 5-star realtor. Okay, so use 5 stars because subliminally, when somebody sees this, where does their attention span go? To the stars. People are all about ratings nowadays, so give yourself 5 stars because if you don't believe you're a 5-star agent, are other people going to believe it? Hook yourself up. You got Facebook groups. This is a group that I created called Utah Real Estate Professionals. I created this my first couple months. And this is just for people like you guys. No Osmond fans in here. I screen the people that I allow in here so that we can have an open, honest discussion on forum where we can talk about best practices, where we can talk about what's working, what are you seeing in the market. This is a fun group. If you want to join, fantastic, or start your own. I started this every like Wednesday. Guess what I do? I go out to different businesses. A realtor friend of mine joined me on this. And we'll go to places like Block's Dessert Bars. We'll go to the Smoked Taco. We'll go to like Rockwell Watches. We'll go to places that are local. And guess what we do? We hashtag support local. You can start a group and Facebook Live it. Because there's something to be said about live. You're notified when you're doing it. Every day when I drive here to work, guess what, Steve? I'm doing a Facebook Live. I got about 25,000 followers on my Nathan Osmond fan page, right? So guess what I do? I talk about them. Say, guys, I'm heading into OsmondHomeLoans.com. Part of the elite team of Security Home Mortgage. NMLS number 2043092, equal housing lender. Down, let's talk about pet peeves. I just dropped my child off at school Who's with me? Who hates it when the lady in front of you decides to have a family council in the drop-off lane? I do. Who's with me, right? And you start engaging. Has nothing to do with real estate, has nothing to do with that. Sure, they're buying a house from you, but guess what? They're buying you. And as you build trust and likability, and you're gonna get followers doing this, I'm gonna say this, guys, this is a fantastic way. I wanted to show you, just for fun, my most expensive Facebook Live. Watch what happened.
Well, you wanna pick yourselves up some Nathan Osmond, swag, we got some cool swag, new stuff, check it out, and while you're at it, check out osmondstore.com for anything Osmond. Wow.
I got hit. I was in my car and I wasn't even driving. I was in a driveway and my former boss backed his SUV into my car. So I always wear my sunglasses because safety first. But that's a great way to do it, guys. Before I ever walk into my office, do you know that I have about 300 to 600 views of a silly little Facebook Live where I was talking about the gospel or my kids or pet peeves. And yes, what's the underlying tone? I'm going where? To Osmond Home Loans. See what I'm saying? It's a subtle way to pitch without feeling pitchy. It's a way to start networking. I can't call 600 people in a day. So this is a fantastic way to do this. We all love Instagram because, yes, Tana?
I've had some people ask if you've done any words. I'm just reminding you, you
No,
have 9
in fact,
minutes
the
left.
first one, the first word we're gonna do is Tana. Okay, you're our first keyword here today, Tana. That's T-A-W-N-A, right?
Very good.
Is that how you spell it?
Yeah.
T-A-W-N-A. Yeah, you don't want to mess up her name. Steve warned me really early on. He said, don't mess up Tana's name. Not Tanya, it's Tana. Yeah, so T-A-W-N-A, that's our first keyword. We'll have 4 more guys, and so stick with us. Instagram, we love because of filters. We all look better on Instagram. YouTube, who loves YouTube? If you're a real estate, this is an awesome tool, by the way. YouTube is fantastic because it's actually the #1 search engine out there. Who's ever thought of YouTube as a search engine? Who's ever asked, hey, YouTube, how do you do this? Fantastic way. If you don't have a YouTube channel, set one up today. This is a must. In fact, it's a great way to share your stuff. You got to have 100 subscribers to be able to really customize your channel. Just know that. So get all your friends and family to follow you first. But you can throw great videos in there, share those daily. Why did I put LinkedIn? Why is LinkedIn on there? Why would I want to market to people in LinkedIn? I'm connected with Steve there.
They're professionals.
Oh, look how many people, but they're business professionals. As a lender, as an agent, we want to find people with work history, at least 2 years worth. Or are they going to be able to buy a house unless they're on salary? That's my other favorite word. By the way, salary, and since I got to weight it, that's going to be word number 2. So throw that in there. Salary. Tana and salary. Because I can count that income immediately. But I like LinkedIn because a lot of people think, well, that's just where I'm going to go and get a job, or I'm going to put my resume, or just no. This is where business relationships are built. If you want to pay $35 a month and have like the bigger version of LinkedIn, I think it's worth it. I set it up and I've had it set up since 2020, paying every single month $35 because this has become a gold mine for finding good quality people. Remember we talk about quality in your database? Here's where you want to spend more time than probably even Facebook. But most people don't think about doing that. What about Yelp? Who's hungry? That's what I thought when I saw Yelp. Until I met a Californian who came up to me and asked me, do you have a Yelp page? I said, isn't that a food thing? I'm not in the food business. Did you know that home and local services are the #1 reviewed business on Yelp? Especially if you're a Californian, you want to get 5 stars on Yelp. Let me tell you, make sure you set up a free Yelp page. They'll call you, they'll try to sell you, but guys, they'll even give you a free sticker. So get yourself a Yelp page. What about TikTok? We love TikTok. Will it be around in 6 months? We don't know. That's why I haven't spent a ton of time on TikTok, but I do advertise there as well. Alignable, I'm kind of flying through these. Alignable is kind of like a localized LinkedIn. I found this been pretty cool. I've actually found some of my best agents on here. It's all about connecting. What do you notice there? 5 stars. Be consistent in your marketing, but give yourself 5 stars. I'm going to give you these slides. These are some of my favorite books when it comes to marketing and advertising. I would highly recommend that Differentiate or Die. I listened to it for free on Audible. I think it's still free, so go listen to that one. But there's one on there that I also like, that's called 1 Million Followers, and it was written by a guy named Brendan Kane, who was Taylor Swift's guy. Now, he was busy making people rock stars, right? But he says, I wonder if I use the same strategies with social media as I do with Taylor, and if I can make a nobody pointing at himself 1 million followers on Facebook in a month. He did it, and this book tells you how he did it. So these are some good books to read. You can do first-time home buyer classes. Is that a great way to build trust with people? Who's ever done that? Raise your hand if you ever taught a first-time home buyer class. And guys, if you want a lender to come in and share that part of it, I'd be more than happy to teach with you, just like this guy right here. And we're doing it in Spanish, so I can speak 2 languages. But that's a great way to market to people, especially those that are in the lower part of the funnel. Get them into the first-time home buyer class, and you guys could do that. Texting versus email. What do you prefer?
Texting,
Texting. Why, Lisa? Why texting?
because they actually read it.
They actually read it. Who's with me? And every day you go delete without even opening the email. Do you know that emails have a 20% open rate versus SMS text messages that have a 98% open rate? Now, this is a tool that I use. In fact, I want to actually demonstrate how this tool works. None of you guys are obligated to use this tool, but I go on stage sometimes and I'll MC or I'll speak or I'll sing, or I'll just be with friends and I want to give them something of value, something free. I was in Salt Lake and I was speaking on stage with General Flynn for 45 minutes. And I sang this patriotic song and I said, I'm going to give them away because I would love to market my mortgage business to these 7,000 people, but I just don't have time to do that or enough business cards to do that. But I can text people. So I had said to this from on the stage, if you guys want to try this out on your cell phones right now, I want to give all you guys a free gift today for showing up. I'm going to give you a free Nathan Osmond song. The same one I gave to these people. Because I put this up on the screen. I said, hey guys, I'm going to do something crazy right now. I'm going to give you my cell phone number. I want to give you a free song. Everybody pull your phones out. I had everybody pull them out. Okay, now let's do this. Everyone text the word home to 801-769-9481. If you want to try this right now, go ahead and try it. I want to show you how it works. Because that's the thing. Then I put my phone away. I guess, okay, you got 5 more seconds to do it. I'm going to change the screen. And then anyone that wanted to do it, I got thousands of people that went 801-769-9481. Now, is that my cell phone number? It's not the one that's on my business card. Does it go to my cell phone? Yes. What if they called that phone number? Would it go to my cell phone? Yes. How many of you guys have ever received a text message and it was short code, meaning it had like 5 digits instead of a full phone number? That smells like sales. Politicians use them. People delete those ones. But this is an 801 number. People feel they're getting my text message. I can text them back. I can call them back with that number. But watch this. Did anybody do that? If anybody texts the word home to that number, you immediately, while I was talking, got a text message from your friend Nathan Osmond. The nice part is that if you want that free song, you opt in, you click the little link, fill out your name, you can ask for your birthday, so I can send you a birthday wish and other things like that, and then it sends you the free song. If anybody says they want out, they just have to hit stop, and it automatically takes them off your list. This thing saves you so much time. And if you're into texting, this is a fantastic tool. So there's one other tool I want to show you guys when it comes to getting leads. This is a really cool tool. How many would like it if if you had a tool that would show you who in your database was going to sell their home in the next 6 months? Would that be nice to know that? That would be really cool, right? What if you had a tool at your fingertips that provided a monthly report that reduced your clients' Zillow views by 29% and had an 84% email open rate? That'd be pretty cool too, since most emails have a 20% open email rate. You're providing a service. And by the way, let me just tell you this thing doesn't cost you a cent. It doesn't. It provides you with free social media banners, lead capture pages. The homeowner page captures 237 data points on any visitor, so you can literally copy and paste addresses in any neighborhood, and it'll tell you the likelihood of that person selling. Who wants that tool for free? See what I'm saying? I asked myself as a lender, how could I provide more value to realtors? And this is a tool that I came up with. And I tell you, it works phenomenally. Anybody that's interested in this, let me know this. I'll send you an invite if you want to have this tool for free, no obligations. But I want to make sure that the agents here at Presidio have what I call an unfair advantage. That's what I do for realtors, is I create what's called an unfair advantage for them that stand out, which is why we're teaching this class. Those are some of the banners you can get for free. Be active in your community. I talked to Heather Osmond, who she owns Osmond Designs. She's also an agent. And I said, "Hey, Heather, what advice do you have for other agents?" Because I told her I was teaching this class and I wanted to give some good things from the perspective of an agent. And she says, be on the scene. Maybe you need to go join that PTA. Maybe I don't have time. Exactly. But maybe you're not connecting with enough people. This is me telling ghost stories at Cornbellies. Why? Because it's active in the community. It shows that you're giving back. And this is a fun thing we do every single year. Now I'm going to give you some really cool tools now. This is how I create a lot of outstanding marketing. These are the ninja tricks and tools that I use personally to really make my marketing stand out. This tool right here is called Envato Elements. Now, this isn't free. I pay about $300 for the whole year to have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of royalty-free music, sound effects, videos. Why is that important, royalty-free, Steve?
You don't gotta pay money.
So you don't get sued.
No.
If I'm taking stuff off of Google and I'm putting it into my stuff, and that's the copyrighted image or a video, I could get in trouble. We want to make sure we're in this business for a long time. So is that worth $300 a year? I'm going to show you some stuff too. Fiverr.com is amazing. You guys want to see something I do on the end of every one of my videos? It's called consistency. And in marketing, that's important, right? When I show you an ear and it says, we hear you, if you're a Utah, who do you think of? Ken Garv. So what does an ear have to do with car sales? They listen. You see what I'm saying? What if I go ba-da-bum-bum-bum? You think of, I'm loving it. Justin Timberlake wrote that, by the way. It's making bank. But here's the thing is that you have to put consistency out there. People have to see or be exposed to you at least, I say 15 to 20 times before they're even willing to pick up the phone and give you a chance. So you must be consistent in your posts. I'm going to show you something from Fiverr that I have made up. Does this look expensive, guys? Wow, moving graphics. I don't know Adobe Photoshop or After Effects. I can't do stuff like that. Well, you can if you say you can, and you can if you can. But I didn't know how to do that, so I went on this little site called Fiverr.com, and I had this graphic artist for $12 make that for me, and he gave me 2 other versions of it. Do you guys have a logo that you advertise your brand? Wouldn't it be nice if your brand moved around like this? Is that worth $12? I told you I'm going to teach you how to market your real estate business on a shoestring budget. Fiverr is a great site for that because you can get people to do almost anything for you for as little as $5. It's an awesome site. If you need a pamphlet created, if you need a website created, if you need videos done, this is a fantastic site for that. Now, I use stickers, a lot of different things that I give out to market. Now, those are cheap. But sticker mill, you see on there, I ordered these. I don't know if you see, I'm going to the wrong camera. These are magnets. Why is a magnet a great thing versus just a business card?
You see it every time.
Well, yes,
Got it in the fridge.
it has something, it's a functionality. It serves a purpose. A piece of paper, a card gets thrown away. People are used to throwing them away, right? Once they take a picture, if they even take a picture, but a magnet sticks with you, no pun intended. I got 50 of these for like $35 on Sticker Mule. I love it. These things that go around the neighborhood, if the person's not there, I can stick it on their door and it sticks. Isn't that nice? And now they can hang their child's artwork up on the fridge. These, I would highly recommend looking into stickers. It's just a simple idea. There's a lot of ways to advertise Vistaprint. I've got magnets on my cards, guys. It costs me about $35, but everywhere I go, I'm advertising. Osmond Home Loans. You can do the same thing. Make sure, guys, pictures are important. We just had an event where we had all these agents come over and take pictures with us. Wasn't that fun? I love that. So always ask yourself, what do my clients want? What do they need? What's going to bring the most people out? And we just did a whole free headshot day. Be creative. I talked on that video about osmondstore.com. Guys, launch carts, how I do it. I actually have a whole merch site with Osmond Home Loan t-shirts, I created t-shirts that say, want to buy a house, all sorts of stuff that realtors would want to buy for cheap. And I don't even have to work for it. I don't store those in my garage. This is a cool tool that I use to help people. If you want to create QR codes, QR Monkey right there is a fantastic thing. It's the new generation. I even had a QR code at the beginning of this site, but I'm going to show you a few more of my apps. Tano, let's give them another word right now. Here it is, guys. The next word is marketing. Okay, that's our third word. Tana was the first one. What was it? Oh, you
You're not
didn't
supposed
hear?
to go through
Yeah, if you don't hear the second one, okay. The third one here is marketing. So hopefully you're writing these down because you're gonna have to fill them out at the end. Pixelmator, if you guys aren't good with Photoshop and these types of things, this is a great tool to use. How many guys like to create a PNG file? You know what that means? It means there's no background. If you're not skilled in these types of tools of cutting around error and different things like that, write this URL down. It's called remove.bg. This thing will save you so much time. I use it all the time when doing my advertising. If you got a headshot, you want to cut around you real fast, all you do is go to remove.bg, which stands for background, upload your picture, and then download the PNG. It's so fun. There's so many tools. Now, time is our greatest asset. And if we're spending all of our time just doing social media, we could run out of time, right? And have no business. So Hootsuite and Buffer are both tools that help you to manage your time better with your database. It allows you to time out, say, I want to release this video I just created next Thursday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That's what that does. How many would love to be able to send video through email? See, I told you, you got to be different. You got to stand, just like that book you saw on that list, The Purple Cow by Seth Godin. He says, if you were driving through Spanish Fork, Utah, and you're driving past these fields with these cows, and all of a sudden you come past a field with a purple cow, what are you going to do? You're going to stop. You're going to pull over. You're going to whip out that database you're carrying in your pocket. You're going to turn on your Facebook Live, and you're going to start, oh my gosh, guys, look at this purple cow. Have you ever seen this selfie? You need to be the purple cow. And that's what you got to be. If you want to be outstanding in your field, you got to make sure you have outstanding marketing. Now, as agents, you can also create partnerships. See, this all comes back to advertising and marketing. There's the store that shares a common name with me, so I went to them first. They happen to sell furniture, by the way. They also do staging for real estate agents. They also do classes for people that want to learn how to do interior design in the house they just bought from you. And so I called up Heather, who owns the store, and I said, Heather, I want to give value back to agents. I want to provide so much value that they won't want to go anywhere else. What can I do? And she says, well, first of all, if they use Osmond Home Loans at Osmond Designs, I'll give everybody 10% off, whether that's your staging, whether that's your gift you want to give away, maybe that's the interior design class, or anything that you want just for you and your family. See, what does it do? It helps to create partnerships, synergy. And I love that. By the way, she happens to also be the host of KSL's The Home Show. Now, do you guys happen to know what it costs to advertise on KSL radio for a little 30-second commercial? I'll tell you, $2,000. And you're probably going to be played about 2 a.m. when nobody's listening. Is that a good usage of your budget? So I said, Heather, what can we do to add value? By the way, like I said, I want to give you guys the biggest unfair advantage that nobody else gets because you came to this class. Because you showed up today, I want to tell you this. If you guys will just contact the home show, Heather Osmond, I'll even give you your phone number if you need it. I can tell you this, it costs $500 for a 14-minute interview on a Saturday and a Sunday prime time. So you're getting 2 shows. How much can you get in 14 minutes?
A lot.
A lot. But what if you don't want to spend $500? What if you guys took another one of your realtors with you and you split that cost? Nobody even knows you can do this. They don't advertise this. This is a hookup because you came today. If you just say Osmond Home Loans to Heather, she's going to let you go ahead and do that. So for $250, you could have a 7-minute commercial on KSL. I did this my first month and I paid $500 alone just to be able to get some street cred. And I advertised and I milked the heck out of that thing as featured on KSL's The Home Show. You see what I'm saying? I invested in my business, but I've made it now even 50% off of that if you guys want to do that. Now there's that Block's dessert bar. Use the name Osmond there, you get 10% off cookies. Isn't that cool? Create excitement. Make it fun to work with you. You know, we tell people we put the fun in funding. So let me tell you this, Big Boy Movers, they're a local moving company. So I did a whole commercial, created a partnership with them. I said, hey guys, this month, we're gonna do something really special. One of the hardest things about buying a home is actually moving into that home. Would you agree with that? If you've been in the Elders Quorum, I thought about creating a moving company called the Elders Quorum. Just called the Elders Quorum. Anyways, but these guys, Big Boy Movers, I get people, 2 guys for 4 hours to move their stuff. Not only do we want to get you into your home, but we want to literally get you into your home. See, have fun with this, but create partnerships with other businesses that make working with you fun. This is a little tip there. Now, I'm going to show you one thing here. This is my my podcast that I do every single week. Now, guess what this is? This is called Free Real Estate. As I do shows and I motivate people and this and that, guess what I do? At the end of every one of my podcasts, I say, this episode was brought to you by who?
Nathan Osmond.
Osmond Home Loans, part of the Elite Mortgage Group, right? And I go into this whole thing, it's like a 30-second ad, because that's free. Why would I promote any other business? I love this. If you guys want to learn how to do podcasts, I have a whole PDF that I can send to you that I use to learn how to do this. So it cost me about 30 bucks or so on libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN. And that site is where you upload your recordings and it broadcasts it on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. It gets you on Libsyn. It gets you on all sorts of great Castbox, Spotify. And it's just a way to distribute that, but it cost me about 35 bucks for the month. Is that nice? And you create the content that you want. Now, I don't know if you can hear this. You guys hear this?
Achieving awesomeness now. Your podcast.
This is my podcast intro. Now, you heard some music kick in, and this guy started talking. Welcome to Achieving Awesomeness Now. The reason I'm playing that isn't to advertise the podcast, but to bring up the points that we've already brought up. And that is, I got that music from where? Envato Elements. Royalty free. I can use it as much as I want over and over again. Where did I get that voiceover? You said it. Fiverr.com. See, guys, I'm showing you how I implement this. I even put music underneath the stories that I tell on the podcast to really make it feel like high quality storytelling, you know? So these are the tools that I use over and over again. I'm almost done here, guys. I'm going to give you a 4th word, okay? And the 4th word is Presidio, okay? 4th word is Presidio. So write that down. And the reason I'm showing you this production company here, this is just what we call a sizzle reel. Maybe you need to have a little sizzle reel working for you because video is your favorite friend. Did you guys know that Instagram is no longer a photo website? They don't consider themselves a photo website. What do they consider themselves? Reels. They're a video-based website because videos sell. And this is just a short video showing you stuff that I produced this video. This is my production company. I've had it since 2003. I produce live events. I got videos. I got studios. In fact, here's the studio right here. And one thing that I'm doing differently as a lender is adding more value. I don't know how many lenders you guys know that have green screens and sound stages and microphones and things like that to help you with your business. But let me just say this, if that's exactly what Osmond Home Loans is doing to help agents that want the help and free of charge. See, this is the thing. When I help enough people get in life what they want, what am I going to get? You need to ask that very same question. If I can help you get what you want in life, I know I'm going to get what I want. It's called the golden rule. So this is some of the things that are available here in Provo, Utah. If you're within driving distance of Provo, we're about 2 blocks north of the Provo Temple. All you got to do is call me. Say, Nathan, I'd like to come shoot something in front of a green screen, or I'd like to shoot a sizzle reel. I'd like to do this and that. Can you help me with this? The answer is always yes. We're going to have some fun events coming up here. This guy, by the way, is a dear friend of mine. Had him on my podcast, but he actually ghost wrote a famous book about real estate called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And Mr. Kiyosaki, who I've worked with, he gets all the credit. But this is a Utahn that ghost wrote that book for him. Interesting, isn't it? And we're going to be doing some events for real estate investors. Who would like to come to the event as my guest for free and learn how to invest in real estate? Would you guys like that? I'm gonna schedule this here, or coming up here fairly soon. So if you're interested in that, just email me, let me know you want to come to this. You're invited. These are only for top producers, because that's who I like to work with. And if you're not one, if you were here, consider you in that group. Okay, so I'll invite you to this class here. Dates to be determined. I also contacted the #2 agent in the whole nation. His name is Brian Moses. You've probably seen him on all the big stages, because that's where he speaks. Brian called me up and says, Nathan, I want to come to Utah and I want to teach all your agents. Okay, so guess what? We're going to do an event with Brian Moses. Who wants to come to that one for free? Guys, we're going to do some cool stuff. And that's why I like to be different. See, that's the thing is, what do I get out of this? Putting on big events and bringing in big people to speak. What do I get? Guys, I am establishing relationships, trust. It's all about not Nathan Osmond. It's about you guys. You see, that's the thing, is that's been my focus. Remember, nurture. You got to nurture your relationships out there. So that's going to be coming up as well. We do classes. I got iMovie for dummies that want to learn how to do movies. I'll teach you guys how to use Canva and other tools. But most importantly, if any of you got anything out of this, and I realize I spoke really fast today, right? I had a lot to cram into this. But the thing is, if you feel like you kind of need some one-on-one attention, maybe you want to pick your 1, 2, or 3 favorite strategy and would like to sit down one-on-one to go over what we discussed here as a follow-up, I would love to sit down with you personally one-on-one, whether in your office or mine, or at the studio. And let's go over your goals for this year, because I'm serious when I say I want to turn you into a top producer, because that's who I like to work with. And you're just going to be happy. And if you're married, your spouse will love you even more, because I love that. And if you're on a lunch break, like this guy was, and maybe you just need to go out and have me bring my cell phone and shoot a little commercial for you and throw your Presidio logo on there and do something really fun and make it look like you're on HGTV talking about, we just sold another one. This guy just said that. And guess what? He didn't have that scripted. I can help script things on the side and make you look like you're on a TV show. And we walked around this house here and we showed people what they need to look for in a house, why this is a good selling point. We walked all through the house and backyard. Guys, I did this on a lunch break. And before the end of the day, he had this video uploaded. So if you guys want to do stuff like that with me, let me be your Spielberg behind the scenes. He showed up the other day, the same guy. He had his name on his shoe. And he said, look, I got my name on my shoe. I said, guess what? That's your next post. See, if you're lacking on the right side of the brain, I would love to add to your creativity. I took this in our boardroom the other day. I took a picture of the man's shoe. And now we created a little ad in about 10 minutes, ready to run with you. So if you're not a graphic designer, if you have a hard time doing these kinds of things, and maybe this was overwhelming for you, just know that you have support for free. That we want to do is make that available to you. And that's why I have a business partner who's helping me to do all the business. Why he's not here today, guys. So good. But does anybody have any last questions before we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Your last word.
You already did.
And I already did, if you're listening. It's your license number. And I've got to go ahead and give you guys what's called your code here. Hold on one sec. Let me go ahead and open up the chat box.
Hey, Nathan.
Yes, ma'am.
Someone did the home text thing that you had mentioned and they didn't get a message back, just so you know.
They didn't get the text? Okay, that's good to hear that, because if it didn't work, sometimes I had a few phones, I don't know if it's a certain service that maybe they don't get it, but majority of people have gotten that. I know that US Title uses the same tool. There's a lot of people that use that Touchpoints Pro. And by the way, I've also worked out discounts for those that would like to use that tool and not pay full price. That's the thing. I've tried to come up with a lot of partnerships for you guys. And here is the class. Let me go ahead and put that form right here so you guys can go ahead and click on that link. I just put it in the chat box. And you guys can, because you were here in person, just go ahead and write them down, the keywords, and we'll make sure everybody gets credit.
Keywords.
What's that?
We don't have to do the keywords.
You don't have to do, that's right. Only those online have to do the keywords. But those that are online, make sure real fast before we get off of this broadcast here, that you go ahead and click that link right there, fill that out. And like I said, the 5th word is your license number, because I need to have that. That'll save me time to have to call you guys and have to get your license so you guys get this credited. But I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of us here from the Elite Mortgage Group. I want to thank Presidio. I want to thank Jen and Steve and everybody here. What a fantastic family we have. I feel part of your family. Crystal, who you know, she told me her story about coming up with creativity. If you guys know Crystal, you know that she's head over heels to work with you. And that all came from a meeting just like the one we just had. She was drawing a blank. The gentleman teaching the class said, I don't know, what do you like to do? What makes you unique? And that one meeting, she said, all I can think of is that I like to buy shoes. There it is. So what I want you to do tonight, once again, to recap your homework, I'm going to send you what's called the memory jogger. I want you to start going through that, go through your database in your pocket and start figuring out who those people are again. Reach out to a minimum of at least, I say 5 to 10 SOI daily. And all you have to do is reconnect. Doesn't have to be about real estate, but let them know what you're doing. But don't be too pitchy. The next thing I want you to do is go check out some of these sizes. I'm going to send you these slides. And if you have any questions and you'd like to sit down and do a follow-up with me, make sure you reach out to me. Tom, I'm just going to put this back up on the screen so they can just get that number. This is my actual cell phone number right here, which is 801-473-8081 or Nathan@shmloans.com. You guys can go check that out. Reach out to me if you have any questions. But Tana, I'm going to let you get the final word in here. Oh, you got to move that. Hold on, let me move that up. Go ahead, Tana.
Well, thank you. Make sure that you download that Google form in the chat, get it all filled out. Like I mentioned, I'll give you probably 10 more minutes. And then I'm sure I talked to Nathan, we have probably 3 more classes that we're going to schedule this year at least. So we will let you guys know on that.
Absolutely. And guys, I want to thank you for bringing me in here, but we are going to teach CE classes every other week. And we make those available, but I love that Presidio is all about raising the bar. Isn't that your slogan, Tana? Isn't that the whole company's slogan? Yeah. And I really want to applaud you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to come learn, but we can teach you about 1031 exchanges. We have the do's and don'ts of advertising, how to negotiate like a pro. We have a lot of different classes. So I'll be working with Tana to get some of those on the calendar for you. You're amazing. And
thank you so much.
Yes, I want to thank Nook and Cranny for bringing the food here. And they're our sponsor today. So just write that down, Nook and Cranny Home Inspection. I'm going to give them a plug because they're not quite here yet. So thank you guys. Thank you, Tana. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, see you soon. Awesome, wasn't that fun?
We should just go.
We should. They're bringing the food here.
I have to make a call in 8 minutes, so.
Oh, yeah.